Hey, how you guys doing tonight? Welcome to another great episode of the Unfiltered Truth. I am your host, Phil Jones. Phil Robinson the third is here with me.
What up? What up?
How you guys doing? I know I was here like for a brief moment last week, and then I pulled a huge Houdini. I had a lot of emergency to take care of, but I am back with you guys, and I will be here the whole entire time to give you guys updates on CYM basketball, and we will be diving into Raider news as you guys have been drooling for all week, especially what's been going on. It's been phenomenal, as they always say it. But other than that, I'm going to dive into some creative young mind basketball. They had their draft this past weekend, and I'm just going to tell you this, Phil. They got a big man. They got a very versatile young man for their draft. Phil, they got some games coming up this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Some good games. A lot of talent.
So the Undiscovered will be facing Waco Prospects. Then they're going to have it's going to be 4 games going on. So you got Louisville Black going against the Phenoms. The Pros versus the PSO Prospects from Memphis, Tennessee. And then they're going to go, then you got the E-Hoops versus the Prospects. Today they had their massive combine. So this is going to get real interesting for the league. It's literally called the Basketball League. And it's God knows it's the amount of teams that you have for NBA. So it's gonna be real interesting, Phil. They're all the way up in Indianapolis right now. So
nice. They're getting out and they're getting about and they're spreading their message, spreading their brand all over America, huh?
And see, that was the thing. You saw it work from Texas, and now you saw it work around the South. Now it's working its way up north through the Midwest. Can we start seeing it on the East Coast? Can we start seeing more on the West Coast? Absolutely. It's going to happen. As folks always say, it's like one step at a time. So eventually, we'll see what we want. But it's some other cats. I wanted to see. I wanted to see where he was at. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can pull it up real quick. I think I got it right here. So they drafted Fadika for the first round.
Mm-hmm.
This man, he's in a different league, man. I'm telling you. Somebody told me watching him, I'm trying to think who they said he would remind me of. Someone off my Lakers. Somebody said he was going to start to remind me of what's the guy's name? Jones that they recently signed. Came out of nowhere and started just blocking everybody. Kev knows who I'm talking about. Well, I want to say Damon Jones.
Maybe I think that might be him.
I think it's Damon Jones. That's what they say that's what they say he will remind me of. So when I see him play this weekend, I'll be able to do my analysis. Yes, Damon Kev, that's who it is. I'm gonna be able to do my analysis this weekend on him, get a good look. But I'm gonna be real, man. Once everybody heads up here and they end up having their games, I'm telling you this. Louisville Lovers are not they're a team to be fierce. They're a team that's gonna be you remember how your Warriors were coming out of nowhere just dogging people?
Yeah.
They're gonna be like them.
Jones.
They're gonna probably end up being like them. Then later on, they're gonna be like my magnificent Lakers.
Who want
you looked at me that you gave me that face. You like Jones if you don't shut the hell up.
They're not gonna beat the Nets, so it doesn't matter.
You know what? Don't hate. Don't hate. How dare you?
Fact.
Lake Show, baby. That's right, Kev. That's right. But remember, I tell each and every one of you guys are interested in catching some of the games for the creative young minds. Here's the link: creatingyoungminds.uscreen.io. You guys can go and register to watch the games, watch any of the games they had this entire season. You'll be able to watch tomorrow's games. I had the other link here. Weird. I don't know why my thing's like no. Anywho, you guys can follow them on Twitter, CYM Basketball, Instagram, CYM Louisville Leopards, and on Facebook at CYM B-Ball. So you'll be able to catch clips as you guys saw the clips I put up the other week. And I'll show it to you again. Boy, the boy done dunked on him.
Took that boy on their head.
Took that boy life. I was like, damn. But like I said, look, you'll be able to catch it through those links. You can go follow them, give them your support on their social media pages. And like I said, you can go on the link down below the banner. Here you go. I'll put it one more time. creatingyoungminds.uscreen.io. You guys can go and watch their games this weekend. So you guys show some support, okay? I know I got some Texas folks that are Raiders fans that like basketball. If you're in the area near Louisville, show your support. Other than that, Phil, we have major news.
So everybody sit down and strap in, because like good old JR used to say, and business is fixing to pick up.
Where you want to start at? I mean, it's
we got to start at the top with the most recent news of all, with the release of Richie Incognito. No sooner than Richie Incognito had been released from the Raiders roster, turning up some serious eyebrows as to just what exactly the plan is going forward with the offensive line. You hear Vic Tafur come swooping in saying that they expect to re-sign Richie at a lower price tag, which is actually kind of what I felt was going to happen with Gabe Jackson. And it still might, but they've released him already. And even if they were to re-sign Richie, I really don't expect him to play 16 games. And that's just me being honest.
Well, not even that. We also got to remember, the Raiders did so that's 2 guards the Raiders have just released, 2 starters. So that's Gabe Jackson, they just recently released. They did save about $9.6 million and got under the cap. Then, remind you, the Raiders did have $7.7 million carryover from 2020. And then now you're releasing Richie Incognito. There's no cap. You saved up about $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
So you can bring him back. Yes. I thought maybe, hey, we're hearing that Gabe Jackson got released, but what if they bring Gabe Jackson back and get him restructured?
Well, the other domino to fall is, what exactly are they getting ready to do with Trent? Now, we initially, earlier in the season, we were of the mind to get rid of him because you just couldn't have that around. But having looked at what's available out there, should they release Trent or trade Trent away, especially with Taylor Moton being re-signed, franchise tagged, I believe, by Carolina.
Yeah.
And then it's the draft is just not looking good for linemen. You got Penny Sewell, but past that, there's not much of anything. And so they would be wise to keep Trent Brown. Looking at him in the offseason, he looks like he's prepared to come back and just work out there and just continue to be the player that we saw, the player that they gave all that money to up front. What are your thoughts on Mr. Brown, Phil?
I'm going to tell everybody this straight up. Just really sifting through a lot of research about what was going on with Trent. I need a lot of attention. You got to understand, this guy was going through I'm going to say this, he was going through depression. He was going through something serious. Imagine you coming off a Super Bowl win with the Patriots, then you're getting the highest paid contract at the time for a right tackle signing with the Raiders, and then you find out your best friend suffering in the hospital, going into a vegetative state, and then you're going to have to bury him, and then you took care of his hospital bills. That your best friend. You having to bury your best friend, that is not the easiest thing for any man to do. Anybody. I'm not even going to say any man. I'm going to say
young man. That young man.
Any human being, actually. Like, this was your homie. And you had to bury him. Then you had to go right into the season doing that whole process. I mean, you're trying to hold up good. You're stressed out a little bit. And then you have the whole hoopla with your ex-girlfriend, and that's making news. And you're like, I didn't do a daggone thing. You can see from the photos nothing happened. And on to the next, you get hurt. You're trying to recover. And then lo and behold, we have COVID. COVID gets in the way of you doing your rehabilitation the correct way. You can't go to the facility like you normally would. You go to the facility really late, and you're trying to work out while you're rehabbing, and it's not the same when you go to like your main facility. You're going somewhere else. And then afterwards, you're trying to play that the first week. You're like, I'm still having problems out of my calf. You sit out, you finally come back to play, and then, oh no, you had COVID. Then you had a whole IV
fiasco.
Do you think someone's going to be mentally ready to come back and play the rest of the season? No. Now, you finally gave him the time off that he needed. Gruden, he thinks everybody's like a machine and doesn't have emotions most of the time. Granted, this man gives a crazy man more affection than a normal person. Let's be real here. He gave so many chances to Antonio Brown. I'm like, damn, why aren't you showing the same way towards Trent Brown? Now, you see the offseason video, Trent Brown has lost weight. This man doing push-ups, bouncing off the ground, clapping his hands, he's doing a military push-up. Yeah. And then you're looking at him doing the box jumps. It's a giant doing a leap up in the air like that. You see
that box jump. You're doing a 4-foot box jump.
Phil, I'm gonna tell you this. You see a giant man at 350 doing box jumps like that.
Yep.
You need to be terrified.
Yeah.
I don't care what John Gruden thinking. I know Tom Cable is grabbing his chest like, yes. He's like dude off that TikTok like, Sir, bring me that.
Yeah.
John, bring me that. But we want to trade him and try to get a second round pick. Bring me that now.
Oh no, what are you doing, baby? No.
You see that? I mean, seriously. I'm looking to keep Trent Brown. He looks motivated. People want to speculate what he did on his social media, thinking that, he's talking about he's gone. If the man didn't say he's gone, then he's not gone. Now, you look at the linemen from Tennessee that got drafted this year. This man said it straight up, I'm gone, and then deleted it. I didn't see Trent Brown saying that. I didn't see Trent Brown trashing the organization. I mean, yeah, Trent can be the king of cryptic tweets. I mean, to be honest, there's times I can be the king of cryptic tweets. But the thing about it is, it's right now what the Raiders are doing is this, and Mayock kind of said the same thing. You know, we're liking what we're seeing. We need you to continue seeing it. So Raiders can be looking to trade him or say, you know what? Let's keep him. I'm going to tell you guys this right now. And I want you guys to listen loud and clear. You guys do your mock drafts and Pro Football Focus mock draft. Jesus Christ, it gets on my nerves. But I see everybody putting, oh, yeah, I got a tackle. Yeah, he's going to play right tackle. Look at the guy who you're drafting, because a lot of these guys don't play right tackle. They probably play right tackle their freshman year and continue to play left tackle their entire collegiate career. I'm telling you this. I'm telling you now. This is not the draft to be getting an offensive lineman. I sat in on one of the calls with Mel Kiper Jr. and you can hear like in his voice, like, oh yeah, you know, there's some tough offensive linemen, but you know, they got an injury history. And I'm thinking about, hold up, injury history. No, not looking to do with that. No.
Nope.
You are really mistaken, my friend. I'm not looking for that. What the Raiders need to do, look, you need to go in and get Denzel Good, extend it, keep him. You do have John Simpson, but I say this, and Vic Tafur even put it out there that the Raiders are open to bringing back Richie Incognito, but just on a restructured deal. I mean, you look at the money they gave him last year, and you only got 3 games out of him. So that's understandable. So I bring him back on a 1-year deal, probably $2 million?
That's
Seems reasonable.
There's got to be more than that.
Not 2. I say 2.5.
What's the vet minimum? I think isn't that like 3.5 for a person who's been there as long as he has?
I give him about $2.5 to $3 million. Just call it as that. I'd leave it at that. I think that's the safest way to go. To be honest, because if you have that setback, then you know. And then the other thing, well, you know, I take this back. Another thing is this: Try Turner. The Chargers are trying to get rid of him. You could pick him up. So this could go either way for the Raiders. You could look at getting a guy like Try Turner, or you can look at restructuring Richie Incognito.
In either case, you have options. In either case, what you're looking at is them kicking over a lot of rocks trying to find money and looking at doing it not quite like anybody expected. Although when you stop and think about all the money invested into the offensive line, that would make sense that'd be where you would start to try to turn over and see what you could get. Because down the stretch last year, they were awful in the running game, and they couldn't push anybody off the line or hold up on the outside pass rush. And fading down the stretch has been a problem of theirs. Guys getting hurt, nicked up has been a constant problem of theirs as well. Gabe and Richie were both guards who had a lot of injury problems.
Well, the thing about with Gabe gave us an entire season. That was good.
I mean, yes, he has, but if you look at the grand scheme of things, he's battling through injury every single year. Just because he gives you 16 games doesn't mean that he's healthy. And if he's playing and he's not healthy, and the only thing that he can do is hold up and pass protection, then he's only able to perform half his job. And at $9.6 million, I'm sorry, you just can't pay somebody to do half the job.
That's true. Here's the other thing we need to go on and talk about. I mean, as all the Raider fans say, what about the defense? The defense, man.
I went back and I took a look at the defense, and everybody talks about how this historic number of points they've given up, to 479 points, I believe it was. And you look back at it, and I look back at the 7 years that Carr's been there. Then I went back to 7 years before he got there. And what I saw was an awful, awful lot of shitty defense. Shitty defense is nothing new to this team. The offense has been bad too at times, but I mean, this defense is bad. Giving up, it's hard to find them giving up 300 points in a season, let alone less than 200, which is what you would consider elite. They hover at about, what was it, 370 points a year. And that's just.
I mean, look, you want to be real about it?
Oh, please.
You know, we always talk about the players because we go back and look at another team that player went to. They look great.
Yep.
The problem is, you go back this year, you have Paul Gunther, who, in my opinion, was not proven because this was Marvin Lewis and Zimmerman's defense.
Yep.
You look at Ken Norton Jr. coming from the Legion of Boom. I mean, that was Gus Bradley's defense. You look at what was my man's name that was on the Dennis Allen.
Yep.
He was not Hanson, but
no, it was Dennis Allen. Who came from Denver and ended up going to New Orleans?
No, but the defensive coordinator. He's with Cleveland right now. He wasn't proven.
No.
These guys were not proven defensive coordinators. Even Allen at the time wasn't a proven head coach. I don't know why he got picked to be a defensive coordinator. A head coach. And I mean, you look at when Allen went and started with New Orleans, it still wasn't good until later on. So my whole thing is this. Raiders kept getting guys that were not proven. Everybody's talking about, oh, let's go and get this guy. Is he proven? Has he done this? What has he done to show me that I want him as a defensive coordinator? Sometimes you might need to get a retread if you want to see your defense be, I don't know, within the top 15 or maybe top 20.
Or at least find a guy who's been able to show that he can do it in multiple different places. I mean, at the bare minimum, when you're hiring a guy for a job, you'd like to see some organizational success repeated, just so you can see that he was capable of doing it, duplicating what he did earlier and from a previous situation, to make sure that it wasn't just that he had the right pieces and showed up at the right time and it all came together for him.
I'm just like, it was baffling. Jason Tarver, thank you, DJ. It was just baffling just to hear so many folks just say, "Oh, well, you know, we need to go in and get this guy. Let's go in and get Raheem Morris." Don't get me wrong, I like Raheem, but no. But you look at Bradley. the creator of the Legion of Boom. You should be in good hands. Like Allstate. Are you in good hands? We know so far Bradley's like, give me David Irvin back. Give me Kendall Vickers. I watched what Bradley did with the Chargers defense when they had guys dropping like flies. I mean, yeah, you had Bosa, but you didn't have Bosa for the entire season, if I recall. Because I can
100% when he came back.
Not even 100%. You had guys on that team. I was like, damn, you lost Derwin James, you lost Edwards.
1 year, had his rookie year, and after that, it's been hurt for Derwin James.
Let's see. Bosa had what? 10 games. He played 10 games this year. But damn it, Bradley made sure you're going to get at least 7.5 sacks out of him. You look at Melvin Ingram. Melvin Ingram was not healthy the entire year. So when I say that the Raiders are going to be in good hands, they're going to be in good hands. Linval Joseph couldn't stay healthy the entire year. I think it wasn't that.
He was ineffective. He played 16 games.
He had his daughter's. His daughter was supposed to be. His wife was giving birth. That's what it was. Denzel Perryman wasn't even healthy.
He played 16 games.
Oh, he did? Okay. Oh, he was.
Yeah, he was just bad. Or I won't say that he was bad. He made a crap load of tackles, but there were no sacks, 2 quarterback hits, very little pressures, 3 tackles for losses. It wasn't that he did anything that showed up on the stat sheet.
Casey Hayward wasn't that effective. Chris Harris wasn't that great, but you got 9 games out of him.
When your primary pass rushers aren't dominating, nobody can play corner well enough. Doesn't matter who you put back there. If the quarterback has all day to throw and pick apart the defense and wait for guys to break off the routes and come back, provided he's looking his wide receivers to make plays instead of looking to get the ball out of his hands.
Yeah, he had Denzel Perryman for only like 6 games.
Yep.
So Perriman's only available for 6 games. You go down. You look at the safety position. I mean, you didn't really have guys like you were going to expect.
Nope. You're going down.
But what did that defense do? What did that defense do, Phil?
Battled.
Total yards, that defense finished 10th. Points allowed, they were 23rd. They were 22nd in turnovers, but the thing of it is, they look a hell of a lot better than us.
When you play disciplined football, and honestly, that's a testament to coaching, because no matter what anybody says, that there used to be a defense called the no-name defense. I believe that was the 72 Dolphins defense, wasn't it?
Yeah. They ranked 10th in sacks.
They 10th in sacks. That was Bosa and Ingram still doing theirs in their limited action. But if you play disciplined football and do what you're supposed to and have a simple game plan that allows you to maximize on athletic talent, then in this league, there's no reason why your team should not be able to produce, why your defense should not be able to produce. Find something that works, stick with it, and don't ask them to do too much.
Because let's see, how many sacks did the Raiders have?
24, something like that.
Let me see. I'm gonna double check. Hold on, I might have been wrong with the whole sack total.
28.
Raiders had 28 sacks.
Yes.
28, really? You're screwing with me.
21, excuse me. They had 21 and opponents had 28 against them.
Yeah, so Chargers had like what, 8 more than us? With 8 more better than us. And Larry, so look, we look at our defense that we're going to have right now because, update, Raiders are trying to bring Nicholas Morrow back. So there's that.
Gonna try to get him on the cheap. That's how they like them. They like to get their veterans cheap. The cheaper, the better.
No, definitely.
Don't like to pay the. Well, it's not exactly that they don't like to pay. They seem to have a problem paying the right people.
Excuse me.
Especially on defense.
I was about to say something wrong right there, but I mean, this is hysterical. This is hilarious.
Oh, it is.
I'm just looking at our sack total. Yeah, Crosby led us in sacks. Morrow's third. Nassib with 2.5. Cleveland Farrell with 2. Vickers with 2. Kwiatkowski with 1. Lawson with 1. Hankins with 1. Chris Smith with 1. Hurst with 0.5, and then it just goes down to 0.
Chris Smith really stole that one from Cleveland Farrell, but
he really did.
But I digress. So you put up those simply pathetic sack numbers because that's what they are, is pathetic. And then you look at how much money they've spent on defense since Gruden has come back to the Raiders organization. They're ranked 32nd in defensive spending since 2018. Now, in the meantime, while they're spending no money on defense, they've also committed 14 draft picks to building the defense, which is how you would do it ideally for the long haul, because the more players you have on rookie contracts, the better your salary cap and your ability to spend money elsewhere. But the Raiders offense has been the most money spent on unit in the league.
So, and this, now, here's another thing that's funny. Somebody said the Raiders. I'm not even gonna put. You know what? Should I even say it, Phil?
No, go ahead. You done built it up now. You gotta say it. Gotta come out and let it be known.
You sure?
You gotta let it be known because I gotta tell you, for everybody who's told me that Carr was better than Russell Wilson, it sure looks like they're giving him the opportunity to make him do it without an offensive line.
Oh, I got something to really clap back at that one.
I'm sure.
And I will play it. But it's funny. Somebody really, truly believes that the Raiders should have been in the playoffs with this offense. But you couldn't handle business in the red zone. And this goes from
somebody on offense believes that this was a top
I'm saying, Phil, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, but I look at this and I'm like, your players weren't executing. Your play calling was not executing. So you honestly think that that team should have been in the playoffs. You went from up to flat. Like you had the Viagra and then you went flat. Your lady was not happy.
Said you were in no danger,
and you could not punch it in.
No danger of your erection lasting 4 hours or more, huh?
No, like that is literally the Raiders' red zone offense. You take the blue pill and then you go flat. And I'm saying this: the Raiders, you're sitting there. At what is your rank? What is your rank in the red zone? Because this was absolute a travesty of haberdashery.
So what you're telling me is that the Raiders are colorblind, that all they can see is silver and black and white, and that when somebody offered them the blue pill, it was really the red pill, and they done shit to bed ever since.
I mean, when you going 23rd in the red zone
with the for the second year in a row.
23rd in the red zone. Come on.
Second year in a row.
So you thought that was going to be good enough for the playoffs?
Second year in a row.
Hold on. What was last year's?
25, I believe.
Oh,
improvement.
Oh no, hold on, buddy.
Wasn't better.
They did worse. You were 22nd last year.
Was it 22nd? I thought it was 24th.
You did 22nd last year. You did worse this year at finishing 24th. I mean 23rd.
But you know what they were number one at?
What?
Short distance field goals, baby. That kicking game was on point. $18 field goals inside the red zone.
Red zone percentage for the defense was 30th last year. This season was 61%. They finished 16th. So really, the Raiders in the red zone, I mean, wasn't that bad. But when it came down to fourth down percentage, they were not good. When it came down to third down percentage, it was not good. I will definitely admit that it was horrendous shit. I mean, it was bad. It was like you ate that truck stop hot dog and you just fell apart like going down the road. It was like, no, I put it like this. It was like Craig's dad eating that nasty ass hot sauce on his burrito and he stuck on the freeway.
It's like eating the chili from 7-Eleven. You know when you eat it that it tastes good going in, but you got no business eating it and it burns coming out.
It's like, put some hot sauce. You fell apart. You look good the first two downs. Now, I put it like this. It's a long story.
A long story.
Nah, long story short. One of my teammates, this fool thought he was slick. They said, eat light. This motherfucker packing down Taco Bell soft tacos. He packed down like 8 soft tacos before the game. True story. My man literally, he boo-booed on himself on fourth down.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Pounding Taco Bell and went out there and wow.
Fourth down. And I was just like, oh no. What's wrong? He's grabbing his stomach and like he's like twisting and turning. And I'm like, what's he doing? Like, should we call a timeout? Is he good? I'm like, ooh. You heard it echoed on that field, bro. You heard it echo on that field.
Was it in the game or what? It was in the game, right?
Bruh, he was D tackle. He stood right up and they ran a fullback dive right past him. Damn. You can smell that field, bruh. You can smell that field.
Oh, man.
Coach, you heard Coach said, bring your stinky ass over here, damn it.
Just disgusted.
Oh,
I can't just looking at it, I can't believe you. You make me sick. Get out of here.
To make everybody feel better, you know, it could have been worse for the Raiders. Imagine the Raiders had given up like that.
P-Dog, to answer your question, is still $5.75 million of dead cap. While they can save $4 million, what they would have to pay is still more. I'm of the mind that it'll happen, but because they're currently under the cap, they don't have to worry about that until June 1st. So they have quite a bit of time to experiment with what it is that they're going to do and how they're going to mix up some more cap flexibility and what they're going to do to achieve it. You look at guys like Mariota still on watch, Nassib's on watch, Brown, Trent. We've talked about Trent. They're not sold on keeping Trent. They haven't said they were bringing him back yet. It's a lot of moving pieces, especially when you want to stop and take a look at what's available. And they won't know what's fully available until probably a couple of days before, probably the 14th of March, which is when tampering starts.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, if you're the Raiders, you don't want to like keep releasing like everybody like right now and shit. You want to spread it out. Like you can't just go like straight purging right now. Go on and handle it like. Go on and handle the rest like when you go right into the official 2021 season. Well, all season, excuse me.
The guys that they're releasing now, if you really want to be honest and get to brass tacks and talk about the strategy behind it, are probably guys that had some salary disputes and that they're letting them test the market to reset their own value to see whether or not they'll offer them what they're worth or they'll let them leave. And those that they're serious about holding on to are guys that are not going to get released until the last minute so that they can verify that there is a replacement option that's better than what they have. It's a smart decision coming from a front office that has not made very many of them.
Oh, I'll give you guys an update. So I remember I was talking to you guys about Takk McKinley most likely coming back. Looks like he might not be coming back.
Oh?
Yeah.
What happened?
Looks like he wanted a little bit more than... Raiders like, look, we didn't see anything from you this year, so we're going to give you this minimum right here. It's kind of like a prove it deal. Show us what you got. Well, Takk doesn't want to show us what he got, and he feels that he can make more. And yeah, so it is true. The Raiders will be looking to try to go one more time at Yannick and Ngakoue.
What about Vic Beasley?
Vic Beasley, haven't heard anything lately on him. I mean, it would be a possibility to just go on and like bring him back, but then again, you want to make sure that you get something good. Yannick is good.
Yes,
you get Yannick, you sold. Now, when I talk to, because I mean that's the main thing. Raiders going to look free agency for an edge rusher and in the draft. Now, when I talked to Mel Kiper Jr., Mel Kiper had said that the Raiders could be looking at getting a guy in like the second, third, or fourth round for an edge rusher, something like how they did with Max Crosby. I mean, let's be real here. I like Max, but I think when it comes to pass rush, that's him. But you need somebody who's going to handle run support. And, if you can't get Max in that quick, he's able to handle the pass rush as well. So I think the Raiders need to get a rotation again with them. When the Raiders had that rotation with them, I'm going to be real. They were dominant on that side.
Much better. A guy like Trey Hendrickson will do a lot.
It kept him fresh. It kept Max healthy. Max, as you see, he had surgery on his wrist, on his hand, on his arm. He looked like Samuel Jackson off of Unbreakable right now. Shit.
No, that's real.
You had this man play over about 98% of the snaps. That's unheard of. This is not 1995 NFL football.
I stopped and thought about what you said about that rotation, and you realize that both Max and Benson Mayo was playing on the same side, had almost the same,
they had about
six less sacks. No,
they had about 8
sacks, and 4 less than the entire team did this season. Max had 10 and Benson had 7. They had 17.
Oh, 17? Okay.
Yeah, which was 4 less than what they had this season.
So, and that's what I'm saying, and that's what pissed me off. You should have kept, I don't know, they said there was some attitude with Benson Mayowa, but you should have found a way to keep him.
We need to hold on. Now we keep hearing this attitude shit, and everybody's got a bad attitude, and that's why they can't be around here. This is a football team, a football organization where nobody's won anything in an awfully long time. The guys who are producing for you are the guys that you need to keep around and figure out a way to work with their bad attitudes. That's what successful teams do, because 2 guys had 17 sacks last season. One of those guys had 6 this year, and without the other, just in turn, and because he had 6 with all of the snaps that he was playing at 90+% of the snaps every single game. So whether that guy's attitude was bad or not, that was a guy that they needed. And this team continues to base their personnel decisions off some crazy fucking idea about character guy needing to have character guys and good upfront guys. That's not what the Raiders were about. The Raiders were not choir boys. Raiders were not the golden guys that you wanted your daughters dating. They were the guys that you wanted people to stay far, far away from. And on defense,
they were the ones that your daughters were dating.
Yeah, you don't want nice guys on defense. You just don't.
I'm looking at it, and like you said, he has 7 sacks. Benson Mayowa is still young. Benson Mayowa will turn 30 this year. He's had his best success in Dallas and Oakland. Well, with the Cowboys and Raiders.
Yep.
He had now, when he came back to Seattle this past year, 6 sacks in a limited role. I'm saying he's gotten better over the years. Why are you ignoring guys that have talent? And I blame John Gruden and Mike Mayock for not getting a better look at what you have out there. You have one funky game, and then you're ready to just throw the books and fall apart, bitch, whine, and complain. I mean, to be honest, that's what's wrong with society nowadays. Look, the fact of the matter is, the Raiders, you had Mayowa. You should have kept him. You need to light a fire under this D-line. You have Ron Marinelli. I wish you still kept Buckner.
Yes.
Buckner was a bully. And when I mean bully, I don't mean it in a bad way, but I mean in a way where, I'm going to break my foot off in your ass, boy, but I still love you to death. I gave you love, but I gave you tough love as well.
But see, what you have to understand about Buckner was Buckner has a young son who's going to Oregon, who's a top recruit at the defensive end.
No, not even off of that. It's what Buckner has learned over the years. His method, his ideology. You look at where that came from. That coach won a Super Bowl this year.
Yes.
He came from a coach that just won a Super Bowl this year. And you look how that got passed along with that whole.
How did he do it? How did he do it? Let's stop and let's talk about that, because that's actually very important. And how did he do it? Because Bruce Arians' best ability was relatability and knowing when to let guys who did something good do their thing and step out of the way. And bring it all together because he said it himself. He didn't do shit. See, that was all his offensive coordinators.
He didn't nitpick into things. He let guys do their job, because if I know you're doing it the correct way, I'm not going to say shit.
Yep.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Nope. And I know how to talk to all of my players, how to get the most out of my players, how to make them feel comfortable, how to get to know them, how to let them know that we can talk about anything. You didn't hear anything about character issues. They just signed AB and won a championship with AB. They pulled Gronk out of retirement. They got Leonard Fournette, who everybody said was dead, old product, and useless. They got him a ring. All of these guys came together. Then you watched the boat parade. That was pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie. I was digging the parade on the boat. That was pretty sweet. And he's up here. They're all hammered, talking about you calling Vita Vea. Get your ass back here. You ain't.
No. You can't do Bruce Arians' voice. Damn it, Vita! You throw that damn water on me again, I'm gonna beat your big ass.
They love you, and you know players love that shit. They love that shit.
That atmosphere is positive. If we win, we know what we can get. We're gonna feel good each and every time. See, the Raiders had that, and then come after like the bye week and shit. It's like
it just fell apart.
Like I said, no. The Raiders are like a Viagra pill. They went up, and then they went flat. They should have took 2.
And now we stretched that out to its limit. We've gotten 3 Viagra jokes in one show.
Oh, shit, I had to do it, bro. I had to do it. But let's be real. I mean, the Raiders, they come out strong and then they go flat in the final 7 games.
Just had to get it in there one more time, didn't you?
No, I was just really saying that they just go flat, you know.
Man,
I didn't say they went limp. Okay, now I slid in that one. But the thing of it is, you can't. Oh God, I mean, let's be real here. You have a quarterback since 2016 that's leading all quarterbacks with 41 losses. Think about that one. You have a head coach that is stubborn as shit.
Hold on. We can simplify that even further, because it goes back to your coach, your front office. Your team has been spent the most amount of money on offense. All of it is on the offensive line to protect the quarterback, and the constant influx of weapons that he supposedly doesn't have. When you talk about Pro Bowl receiver after Pro Bowl receiver after Pro Bowl tight end to a running back, a Pro Bowl running back now, how much more does one person need? How much more does one player need around them to be successful? Your organization is throwing as much money as possible as they can into the offense. How much more do you really need? Now, Louis Riddick happened to respond to a tweet of mine by saying all times, all money and assets aren't good money and assets well spent. And he was absolutely right, because with all of the money that's been devoted to this offense, you should be expecting a much superior result. Waller came out and said that he believed this offense could be a top 5 offense. And the only player who performed like a top 5 offensive player was him.
Oh, man. Oh, this is funny. Okay, so I don't know if you heard it. This one is
Kevin's life is over here murdering your ass.
Oh my god!
No. Oh no!
Damn! Don't hit me.
I'm talking about your ass.
But no. Tiki and Tierney, they had their show on City Sports.
So Brandon Tierney, little news flash on you. Brandon Tierney used to work out here in the Bay Area back when 95-7 the game first came up, and they were actually covering the Raiders. Yes, so he knows exactly what he's talking about.
So I'm just going to play the clip where you guys can hear what he's saying. I mean, I don't see what he's saying is not wrong.
Thing that matters there to me is when he says Derek Carr is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And if he said that to us, I would say, I got you. He's your, all right, Mike, I hear you. What is your definition of one of the, like, at what point, numbers wise, are you talking, does that include top 5, which he obviously is not? Is it top, which I don't believe he is? I mean, if you tell me he's top 15, I'll say he definitely is. But if you're number 13 or 14, are you really one of the great quarterbacks in the NFL? The answer is no. That doesn't mean you can't win with that player. The thing that worries me about Derek Carr, all right, is that he's had so many assets around him. You think about the young quarterbacks who have really scuffled, right? Now, we know them. We don't always have to just go through the list. We know who they are. Those quarterbacks invariably either have 2 things that they've really been able, that it's out of their control. 2 things they've had to deal with: turnover at the coaching staff, at least more than once, which means you've got 2 new systems, 2 new voices, 2 new approaches. That's tough for a young kid. Or you have a porous offensive line. But when you are running for your life for the first 2 or 3 years of your career, now you're perceived to be an underachiever because the stats just aren't commensurate with the draft selection, all right? And a lot of that is unfair and unsubstantiated by people who don't truly know football. And then all of a sudden you're 3 years in and the numbers aren't pretty and it's time to move on and you're perceived to have been a bust when in reality everything is broken down around you so quickly that you had no chance to succeed. I say all this because the only thing that's preventing me from agreeing with Mayock's assertion about Carr is that unlike the Rosens in Arizona, the Darnolds with the Jets, even the Josh Allens early with the Buffalo Bills, right? Unlike those guys, those young players, Derek Carr, the Raiders, have devoted more free agent money to their offensive line than anybody in the NFL. He's got a good offensive line. Now, is it top 3? No, I'd have to see where PFF has. I don't think it's top 3. I'd tell you this. I know it's not 22nd or 27th. It's good. And it's been good for a couple of years. And he's got a good running back in Josh Jacobs. He's got a top 3 tight end in Darren Waller. You picked up Ruggs, who's got to learn to hold on to the ball a little bit better. But at least with 4.3 speed, he's blowing the top off the defenses, and the whole field is open. Why do you think Waller's always – well, number one, he's awesome. But why do you think he's always open? Because when Ruggs plays, you got to respect that speed. You got to drop back. You got to lay off a little bit. Oh, look, they're worried about, getting beat for a 70-yard gash. There's Waller for 13. There's Waller for 19. There's Jacobs for a 9-yard run. That's how you win in the – that's how a quarterback looks good in the NFL. And He's had all of that. There's no excuses for Derek Carr not to be good. Like, he's supposed to be good.
Well,
you're an asshole for playing that, Phil. You're wrong. Okay, his assessment.
He doesn't know. No,
he hasn't had enough.
He doesn't know Derek. He doesn't know Derek. How dare you?
The defense. The defense.
Like, Jesus Christ. Like, it's funny thing about it, when I hear people talk about the defense, I'm hearing this from people that have not even put on shoulder pads or a helmet. Or even coached before.
Hearing it from media pundits.
Now, when you hear it from, you hear it from Louis Riddick, I'm hearing Louis say it, okay. But Louis, you're nitpicking. Like how some folks say I nitpick. Because we can get real technical with it, and you say, oh, wait,
we can throw on the tape and we can really look at what's
going on in the red zone. You can't be a playoff team.
Missed opportunities in every game. What's up, Pick?
How you doing, Pick? You can't be ranked 23rd. You went from 22nd now to 23rd in the red zone. Now you have Darren Waller. Now this is another thing.
Thought that's why you got Jason Witten.
Where's Darren? Because Darren even
falls off of the radar.
Did Darren Waller actually tell the truth here? Let's see. Where's that at? Darren Waller on Good Morning Football. We have to make the playoffs. There's no excuses. No more justifications. We could be better with red zone efficiency. I believe in these guys, and this year is going to be special for us. I respect that. But we've heard this all before.
I've heard it from him before. Like I said earlier, last year at about this time, he was catching passes at a park, telling us about how he believed that this offense was an elite unit and was going to be a top 5 unit. The top 5 unit doesn't finish at 23rd in the red zone. Top 5 unit doesn't leave all of the points on the board that they left. And my whole supreme argument, and you can go back to any episode that you watched in which I've talked about this, my whole problem with Carr is the amount of points and amount of plays that get left on the field. You can point to all the statistics and they all look good, but as Brandon Tierney just got through saying, the numbers are inflated by what's around him. But the opportunities to be great are the ones that continue to be left on the field. And with what they've spent on defense, football is like an algebraic equation. Okay, if you're not going to be spending any money on defense, then you fucking damn sure better be insanely good on offense. And if you're spending top dollar on offense and you're getting middle of the pack results, things are completely out of whack, and you need to find a way to balance that out. If one guy's been there, one guy is your constant throughout this entire expression that continues to come out with the same answer, you do the fucking math.
Now, here's Kyle Brandt from Good Morning Football on Derek Carr, too.
Riding with this because it's cool and it's nice. It feels like just Stafford, except maybe less talented than Stafford. There's nothing wrong with Matt Stafford. The quote from Ingold, it's like, everybody loves Carr. He's a good guy. He's a good teammate. He's a good leader. He's 10-9 in prime time in his career. He's 17-24 against the rest of the AFC West, against teams that finished with a winning record. He's 14-45. I said earlier in the show, if I were to rank all 32 teams in order of who needs to make the playoffs the most this year, I'd have the Cardinals at 2, have the Las Vegas Raiders at 1. You have this $100 million head coach, this franchise quarterback. Not only have you missed it, new stadium, new town. Not only have you missed it the last couple of years, like you've blown it. You've fallen apart. Yeah. And I'm trying my best to describe the Derek Carr experience because what a great guy. You root for him. It's the kind of guy you want in the NFL. The Derek Carr carousel It feels like when you're on a Sunday on the couch and maybe you're just like a tad hungover and really lethargic, and watching Derek Carr, it feels like watching a TNT movie with commercials. Like you're watching like National Treasure, and you've seen it 100 times, but like you're on the couch and like it's entertaining you, and you don't want to get up. And then eventually you're like, enough, I'm changing the channel. You start channel surfing and you can't find anything. And then it comes back from commercial, and you're like, oh, screw it, I'll stick with National Treasure. That's the offseason every year for Red. It's pretty good. Yeah. I'm entertained. I'm not having my hair blown back like the guy in the Maxell capes. Like, this is the greatest thing ever. But, like, it's getting me through my Sunday. And I'll just keep riding with this because it's cool and it's nice and it says the right things. And it kind of puts us in position to compete before eventually blowing it.
Yeah. That was the best way to describe it. Oh, Jeff, that's a nitpicking stat. If you remember, Eli Manning literally had a shitty ranked defense and won the Super Bowl, not once, but twice. Peyton Manning won with what, a dead last ranked defense?
Yeah, in Indianapolis, they weren't that bad in Indy.
Yeah, but the thing of it is, like, when you hear that, man, I don't even acknowledge that, really.
Listen.
Hold up, didn't Russell Wilson back-to-back, he had 2 seasons where they were ranked, what, I think once or twice, and they made it to the playoffs still. I mean, it happens.
Defense, really, at this stage in the NFL, defense really boils down to two statistics. Stat is sacks and turnovers. Because if sacks are negative plays and turnovers gets the ball to your offense, you can give up a ton of points. You can give up a ton of yards. But if you can take away the ball when you need to get a stop and get it back to your offense, you will win football games. And the Raiders do not do either one of those very well. On defense, they're ranked nearly dead last in turnovers and sacks every year. And that's what needs to change. Whether you want to categorize it as the 20th best defense or not, you could have the 20th worst stats in terms of yards and points. But if you're leading in turnovers, or let's say number 2 in turnovers, you are suddenly the 2016 Oakland Raiders.
No, that's real.
And the Gruden might be the problem. He very well may be. Would I think personally that he would be much better suited to just being worried about the offense and being the coach and offensive coordinator, and with a qualified experienced general manager who's had success in building a team, would be much better, who would be able to hire a defensive coordinator separate from guys that Gruden wanted there. That probably would have been the better move to go with, but there was no way that Mark Davis was going to get him to sign off on that. He was going to have to pay him crazy amounts of money, give total control, and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Hey, you guys, if you're having problems on Periscope, just go on our YouTube page, The Unfiltered Truth. You guys can watch the show from there. I don't know what's going on with Periscope. Then again, they are shutting it down and going elsewhere where it's just connected to your Twitter account. Twitter's trying to infuse a lot of stuff lately, so I don't know if it has something to do with that right now. But if you're trying to finish watching the show, go on our YouTube page, The Unfiltered Truth, or go on our Facebook page. Just look for The Unfiltered Truth. It's spelled the same way. You guys can find it. I have it shared. If you got me on Facebook, you guys can watch it on my Facebook page as well. I don't know what's going on. Like, they're acting a little flaky. But then again, Periscope is discontinued on March 31st. So it might got a little bit of something to do with that. So I don't know. Oh, wait, no, there it is. It popped back up finally.
Yeah, I saw it.
It's acting weird. I don't know. Because the other guy, no, somebody just messaged me saying somebody messaged me saying that their Periscope was acting up while they were doing a live show. But yeah. But I mean, so far, look, if the Raiders, you bring back Aguilar, you probably bring back, and now here's the other thing. Raiders, are they going to bring back Devontae Booker? Are they going to draft a running back?
They might have to draft one depending on what their cap situation looks like. Me personally, I'd really like to see them jump in there and pick up Le'Veon Bell, but I just don't see it happening.
No, really, if it's a cap situation, and I don't think it's going to end up being a cap situation. If I'm the Raiders, just listen to what Kuiper was saying. You can literally grab a running back in the later rounds.
Yeah, you always can.
You can actually grab my running back from Maryland, Jake Funk.
The Funk is on a roll.
Hey, look, because there was chatter that the Raiders would look at Rex Burkhead, but I mean, you want to bring a white boy running back, bringing somebody that's a little bit faster and stronger. That's why I say go with Jake Funk, because he can bring the funk and he can break dance on your ass.
Get funky up and down that field.
I mean, shit, he ran for about 200 yards rushing. Matter of fact, I got his numbers right here. I was like,
in front. I just knew that you did. Hey,
put some respect on the Funk, okay? Put some respect on the Funk. Y'all gonna respect Jake Funk,
on
man.
A roll. The Funk is on a roll.
Hey, keep making fun of Jake Funk. I'm telling you, you're gonna have problems. And look, what 60 attempts for 16 yards. Not bad. He was averaging 8 yards per carry.
515, you said?
16. You got to remember, Maryland only had like 4 games they played.
That's actually not a lot of carries.
That's a lot of yards within 4 games.
Yeah, that's 8.6 a game, or 8.6 carry.
Let's see. Ran 180, then got 80 yards, then 221. Then in the first game, he had like 6 carries for like 35 yards. That was like, you could tell guys didn't want to play that game, but I was just like, he looked solid. He was on point. And he's actually solid in the receiving game too. So that's another thing you can look at. And he will block. So if you're so worried about needing a running back that can block, Jake can block. Might try to get him on the show. That would be interesting to have. Interesting running back to have.
What do I think about Mark Ingram? I like Mark Ingram. I don't think that he's the guy for us. I actually think Mark Ingram would be much better in Buffalo.
Nah. Buffalo, nah. Here's the thing. I think Buffalo will draft another running back. They will get a top running back. Here's the thing. Buffalo has a defense. Buffalo has pieces on offense. They're going to go for best player available. They're going to get a running back.
What do you think? What do you think they take a chance on Harris at the end of the first?
I see it happening. 97%. Yes, I see it happening. They're going to end up taking a chance on Najee Harris. And just thinking of that, Buffalo having a quarterback that can run a little bit of read option.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Buffalo is going to be fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
And then here's the other thing.
or play action, a legit play action.
You want to know something scary? Buffalo might try to grab Jared Cook.
That wouldn't be bad. I think they'll have their choices. They may even draft a guy.
That's true.
It would be in their best interest probably to draft a guy and sign to build through the draft at this point to keep their cap numbers down. I think that with the way the team performed, that they don't need to go out and get a veteran. They can afford to bring a younger guy in and scoop him and spoon feed him along, because he's not going to have to do very much at this level. And Najee Harris would just quite frankly be the best running back they have on that roster from the moment they draft him.
So I'm going to say this. So I see the Raiders. I think the Raiders end up going either safety or edge rusher. Safety or D lineman in that first round.
Have to. The free agent market on free safeties is drying up fast. Justin Simmons was tagged. The Jets are toying with tagging Marcus May. Saints want to bring back Marcus Williams. Don't know how they're going to do that. Malik Hooker is up, but chances are he's going to cost too much for the Raiders. And I don't know if we brought up John Johnson, but we're looking at potentially taking another chance on another Rams player when it hadn't quite worked out well for the organization.
Gregory Rousseau?
Yeah, he sat out this year.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't like it. I'll be
Kwity
straight.
Paye?
He didn't do anything. That was people talk about Kwity Paye, and maybe I need to go back and watch some tape so I can be wowed, because the last guy that came out of Michigan I wasn't too high on either, and he actually looked pretty decent.
You know, this really sticks with me. Kuiper felt that Joseph Ossai would be taken too high at 17. Now, mind you, that's his draft board, but I'm looking at Sports Illustrated's draft board. They got him ranked 21st, so I don't see it being too high.
What about the guy from Georgia, Azim Ujulari?
He's more of an outside linebacker.
I don't know. I guess that could be right, but the way that I've seen him stuff,
it's more about like a 3-4 guy.
Right?
Do you want to keep trying to do this? We're going to convert this 3-4 guy to a 4-3 guy. I'm tired of that shit. Let's get the guys that fit the system.
Well, he's running a multiple look though, so he could very well come out there and float him in as a 3-4 outside linebacker.
I'm just reading this with Ossai. He stands out as a pass rusher with an array of explosive move, plus the relentless to get after the quarterback with consistent high efforts. Let's look at Joseph Ossai's number that he put up, because I'm just like, let's get somebody that we know that can be violent on that D line, and he's an edge rusher too, but he would fit. He's more like your standard like edge rusher for like a 4-3, or you're running a 4-2-5.
I happen to agree with you. Don't get me wrong. I would like to see him. Maybe I think that actually he could probably put on maybe about 10 pounds, 15 pounds, and get up from 250 to about 265 and be perfectly fine.
So he's at 253 right now.
Yeah, he should. If you put 10 pounds on him, he should be fine.
So I'm looking at him. He's had he finished with 11 and a half sacks in his career, 2 interceptions.
Michael James says he wants Owusu Koromoa, and I wouldn't be opposed to that. I like the explosive factor and the playmaking ability, and quite frankly, when you look at what this defense needs, that's what they need is explosion and playmaking ability. You need a guy who can make stuff happen, and at this point, the fact that he's been able to move all over the field and do a bunch of different things is what they need.
Yeah,
they need it badly. He's light. He's very light, and I was curious as to what they would if they could do something with him as a safety, but it's yet to be seen. He can play. He can cover in the slot. He can come down and tackle. So that's not really the issue. It's how well could he possibly be in space? Can he be that guy? He's got the speed. He's got the tackling ability, but can he operate in that type of space with those types of responsibilities and still be the same guy is what I'd be interested in. Barmore, that's a guy that I like. I like Barmore. They're gonna need to draft a guy like him. They're gonna have to draft a young stud to come up at like the Chiefs did with Chris Jones. You got to get that in there, but I also want to see them sign a proven guy who's done it time and time again in the NFL.
Now I'm sorry. Keep going.
No,
I saw something on my eye.
Yeah, when you draft in defensive tackles, you need to have a guy in place to teach the youngster how to do it the right way so that he can maximize the talent that you're drafting. Because a lot of the problems that the Raiders have had is that they bring in guys with talent, but they don't have anybody to teach them the right way. And when your coach can't communicate his system or even get to a personal level with his players where they can have a mutual understanding, you have the years of darkness in the defense that we've had.
Now, here's one guy the Raiders can get. Patrick Jones II, edge rusher from Pitt. 6'4", 265. He has high production, all-around player. He was solid in run stopping and on pass, and as a pass rusher. He fits the 4-3 prototype that we need, and he's dependable. That's the thing we haven't had in a long time on our defense is that we need a guy that is dependable. Consistent.
Traded him away, didn't need him because, the team didn't really win many games while he was there.
So now's the time to redeem yourself. You look at his career, his collegiate career. I mean, freshman year, he had a half a sack. He wasn't getting that many reps because, it happens. But 2018, 3.5 sacks. 2019, 8.5 sacks. This past season, he had 9 sacks coming off the edge. It's not wow, amazing, but shit, you're getting sacks.
Consistent improvement is is the thing to note there. Kid who came in
even was consistent improvement. He had went from 7 to 11.5 to 12.5.
And that's really all that you can ask for is a player that continues to evolve and continues to get better, not one that comes in and shows you a home run season after having done absolutely nothing the prior years before.
If I'm the Raiders and you need that help, now mind you, he's most likely going to be there for the second round. Most likely he'll be there. If the Raiders were looking to trade back and you want to try to load up on some more picks or whatnot, you could grab him towards the end of the draft. Maybe you trade with Tampa Bay, let them move up and let them offload what they have to give to you because, hey, you need to add pieces. You can't get it really in free agency, so get it through the draft. And then again, if you really think about it, if things do go south in Seattle, you'll have a stack load of draft picks to give up. If you're at 17 and you trade back with like a team like Green Bay or Tampa Bay, it's there. But right now, if I'm the Raiders, I'm looking at Patrick Jones at edge. Who else am I looking at?
Trey Hendrickson.
Oh, for free agency?
Yes, sir.
Who else was I looking at?
What do you think about Carlos Basham?
It'll be interesting. His production, it shows. It shows each and every year that he's played. So if I couldn't get Jones, I would definitely be interested in Carlos Basham Jr.
Would you take a flyer on Jason Owe?
Jason Owe,
edge from Penn State, the 260-pounder with 4.43 speed that didn't sack anybody this year.
No. Because then you're working on a project.
Yes, you are. Now, you also have a proven head coach, defensive coordinator, that can develop talent. So, do you risk it with a guy who's proven to take guys and make them into something? Because we're not talking about Gunther and the old system anymore. That's the whole little caveat that you have to consider when you're going into this offseason and talking about defense, is that no matter what we think, we really at this point have absolutely no idea what Gus Bradley intends to do, what he thinks he can do with what he has until we get a chance to see.
I'll put it like this. Talk to me after year one of Bradley.
That would be the best way to assess it.
I wouldn't get any project players right now. If you're looking to get BPAs right now. BPAs defense, BPAs offense.
Yeah.
You need every guy that can be an immediate impact in any aspect that you can find. So if I'm the Raiders, you see a guy like Patrick Jones II, grab him. You see a Holland from Oregon, grab him. The Oregon boys, they got speed. They know how to stay healthy. So you need that for a free safety. Go on and grab it. Do you still grab a veteran for free safety? Absolutely.
You can find one.
I think you will. I think they'll find one. And like I said, there's going to be a plethora of running backs in this draft. You can get a guy like Jake Funk, or you know what? Go to Oklahoma and get Stevenson.
Trey Sermon.
Stevenson. You need someone that's going to run right through you. I want a running back that's going to knock your dick in the dirt and got speed too.
You said Stevenson. Was he number 2 or was he the other one?
He was 28. He was running through guys. Go back and look.
No, I know he was there. I'm thinking about the other running back that they had because I liked him as well.
So, other than that, those are some of the options we can look at. Those are some of the things that I might be able to scrap up together because I still have not done my mock draft. And I will be doing a mock draft, not just for the Raiders, but for all 32 teams, not like rounds 1 through 7, but just the first round. But I will be doing that just to get a better look at things. I have the Raiders up this weekend. So I have my official mock draft up for them. It's March. I I felt like, realistically, it wouldn't be right to do anything in February or, really this. I mean, this would be the best time to do it in March. So we got pro days coming up next week. We'll probably get a better idea on a few guys. I might be at Maryland's pro day if I can get access or see how they're going to do it, any film, or they're going to have it live streamed for us. So I'll let you guys know. I'm going to try to see if I can get involved in a handful of pro days, see if is it going to be like just a live stream through like Zoom where like, okay, we'll have a camera up and you guys can watch.
That'd be awesome.
So if it's like that, that would be cool. And I can probably be able to dissect what we're going to be looking for. But other than that, I don't really got much to say. Oh, if you watch WandaVision today, wow. What a great way to end that series. And, we got Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming up in a week and a half. So, woo! If you haven't watched WandaVision, watch it now. It's going to be good going forward with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse Madness. Or what's Madness? Madness of the Multiverse? Or it's one or the other. But, damn, that shit was good. Other than that, Phil, ladies and gentlemen, you guys can find us on Twitter, Phil Jones NFL. You can find Phil Robinson III at Phil Robinson III on Twitter. So obvious.
Facebook, all that good stuff.
You guys can subscribe to our YouTube page, The Unfiltered Truth. Subscribe to our Facebook page, The Unfiltered Truth. We are selling T-shirts, decals. We're selling
masks.
We're selling masks now.
Selling it all.
Look, who knows? We might be having swimsuits later on. So it just say The Unfiltered Truth. But stay tuned for any updates that we'll give you. We'll be posting more on that page. So when it comes to like free agency or any breaking news, we will be posting it up on there for you guys to see. As always, I'll be putting it on my Twitter page as well. And it'll be retweeted, filtered through for Unfiltered Truth page. Like I said, if you guys are interested in CYM basketball, the Creative Young Minds, they have a game tomorrow. I will put up the link one more time. I don't know why this here we go. creatingyoungminds.uscreen.io. You guys can catch it. Subscribe to it. You can catch the game. Where is my Twitter links? I'm getting too old for this. I can't believe I'm saying that, Phil. I'm getting too old for this.
It happens fast.
I think you're just loving that, bro. You're just like, now feel my suffering.
Welcome to Dead.
You guys can give Creative Young Minds a follow on Twitter at CYM Basketball. They're on Instagram at CYM.Louisville Leopards. And they're on Facebook at CYM B-Ball. I'm Phil Jones. This is Phil Robinson. This is The Unfiltered Truth. Like I said, if you missed the show, you can go on our YouTube page and look for The Unfiltered Truth. Subscribe, recap any show that you missed, and get informed with the truth. We're out. Enjoy your weekend. God bless.